Welcome to episode 5 of the Avakin Community Podcast. My name is Adam. With me, I'm joined by the wonderful Sylvia, and
Hi.
We are from the community team here at Avakin Life. We know this podcast came a little bit later this month than you might have been expecting, but it's truly packed with some awesome things, and we can't wait to tell you guys about it.
So we're kicking off today's episode with a very special interview. It's going to be a really interesting one, so make sure you stick around for that. After that, get ready for a fun new chapter of the Avakin Chronicles, hosted by the wonderful George, followed by our hot topic and Avakin news segments, as always.
Earlier on in the month, we were joined by the wonderful Nick Streeter from Special Effect. He popped into the studio here at Lockwood HQ to talk about everything Special Effect, all the awesome fundraising that we've been doing for them, and how much of an impact the Avakin community is having on Special Effect and the things that they do. So let's go. So, Nick, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Adam.
We're excited to have you here. This is your first time speaking directly to our users. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, sure. My name's Nick, and I'm a charity called Special Effect that the community and Lockwood have so generally supported over the last few years. We're a charity with a base in the UK, but having a wider impact, and we help people with disabilities to enjoy the freedom and fun of games.
Awesome. It's brilliant.
Cool. As we have worked with you guys before, some of our audience already know about Special Effect, but could you tell us a bit more about its background, when and how it all started?
Yes, so Special Effect started over 12 years ago. I worked with the founder, Dr. Mick, at a charity that helped people with disabilities about communication and education. And one day he sort of had a light and bulb moment and said, actually, I'm working with people each and every day about their communication, so that this was like with voice control and other technologies, and it's like, but they're communicating, but what they communicate about, and games is obviously a natural fit. So it's kind of it's gone from there really, and kind of the fact that charity was set up, and myself and Mick were part of the original team. It was a volunteer for 4 years, and it's kind of it's kicked on enormously thanks to support such as the community, Avakin community, and kind of more people are being helped, and we're incredibly grateful for what the difference it makes.
So I'm sure you've worked with many people over the years. Can you tell us any specific stories that stand out to you?
Yeah, I sure could. In terms of people that we help, it's a range of conditions, so it's all disabilities. So cerebral palsy and muscular dystrophy are just two examples. People that we've helped people with motor neuron disease, or ALS. Your listeners in the States will know the condition as, to help to communicate and to play video games. And how we do that is it's kind of it's a range of different mechanisms. It might be a specialist controller to play a mainstream game. It could be with eye gaze, which is a big part of the charity. It kind of it goes deeper than that in terms of working with developers to make the games more accessible. But one example that springs to mind is a little lad called Finley, who's a huge football fan based up in Scotland, and his mum got in contact with us, and his dream was to play FIFA, the FIFA soccer game. And kind of the fact is he came down flew down from Scotland with his family, and we were able to help him to play it. And he's now he's a football mad little lad, and he's doing amazingly well. My own personal example is my daughter's been out with the charity, so she's now 12. She was helped when she was 8, and it's kind of my daughter's got a condition where her legs collapse. She's got it's undiagnosed, so her movements are a little bit different, and has tremors. But her friend Ella has got cerebral palsy, and so the fact that the charity's been able to help with different mechanisms for them to play together, they will never be able to go.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Bike rides and kind of to the playground together, but actually the fact that they can play games together and have fun. It's about self-esteem, it's about confidence, and it's not just the individuals, it's kind of their greater sort of their families and siblings. There was a young lad called Matthew who he's 2 older brothers. He has cerebral palsy, and he couldn't play with them, watch them playing, but now he's competing with them and beating them regularly, and that's so many stories like that happen. It's kind of just really great to see, and we often get videos through, and it's all ages. It's like from 3 till 73. The gaming doesn't stop at 25 by any means, and families together.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Just Just as a slight side note, you can check out Special Effect on YouTube, where you can see some of these stories if you're interested in finding out more.
So what would you say the most rewarding part of your job is?
I know it's seeing the stories. You see comments from parents, from families. It's kind of, and then the individuals themselves I found it up to me, kind of, it's that magic moment. And sometimes our therapists will be on a visit, so they will go from our base in a special effect van with all the different tech to a place in the country, and and they help set somebody up with a mechanism and leave them with the equipment, and then they say goodbye, and the individual just doesn't hear them because they're so engrossed in the game. It's kind of that I know from our therapist and our specialist point of view. It's lovely when they're ignored, because that's what we're here for, to help people each and every day.
So could you tell us a bit more about the technology you're using to help people?
Yeah, it's a kind of, the range of technologies is it's very varied. So at the top level, the eye gaze technology is something that the charity is really known for. So somebody has had an accident or got a disability where they can that they can't physically hold a controller, we can help them to play games just with their eyes, through to specialist setups for console controllers. To it might have somebody who's had a spinal injury or can only use one hand, a one-handed controller. That's another part of what we do. We've got a pilot project called Bubble Busters, which is inspired by a young guy who sadly passed away, who had leukemia, and he couldn't go to school. And it's a remote robot that sits in the school, and the young girl or boy is at home, and they're in the classroom, and they're taking part in activities. They're doing science projects. So a lot of the children are really poorly, but their self-esteem can be part of things. There's an example of a young girl who took her. She had her little robot called David, and her friends took David on a walk. So the fact that she can be involved in actually just like quality of life, when obviously there's a case of sometimes the family and the individuals are understandably quite down, go for a lot of treatment. The fact that they can have that the spark of interaction with their community, it's just really wonderful to see.
It's like stuff that we would potentially take for granted, like going for a walk with your friends, can be achieved using this technology. That's so cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are there any ways our users can get involved with the charity?
Absolutely. There are various events that we have, be it physical events like runs, through to we have a gaming weekend that the community has already supported in the past called Game Blast, and one special day each October. The community has been absolutely amazing in taking part with bundles and in game, and the awareness that brings is quite remarkable. And what I would say in terms of what somebody could do is just follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter or LinkedIn if you're in the corporate world, just because awareness is really important to the charity.
Do you have any special events coming up in 2020?
Yeah, the two kind of the big gaming one is Game Blast. That's in February, and the people do they stream or they can do their own board game events. So that's a big focus. But also in October we have our One Special Day event where various fantastic things take place. But also people throughout the year do everything from quiz nights to karaoke nights to board game nights, and it's kind of lovely to see the way that the people are very kindly supporting us, and it's great for us to be able to share the stories that support makes.
Well, we'll definitely be involved this year with Game Blast to a degree, and definitely with One Special Day as well. So that's great.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate the chance to share with yourself and listeners the difference that you make.
Awesome. So which platforms can our players use to follow you for news and updates on these special events?
So we are Special Effect on Twitter, Special Effect Charity on Facebook, and we're Special Effect on Instagram, and Special Effect on LinkedIn. And if you Google Special Effect Gaming Charity, we should come up.
Yeah. We will put all the links in the description for the podcast as well, on the visual version, and also on our new audio version on Spotify and Apple Music, and so on. Thanks so much for joining us today, Nick. We love the work that you do. If any of our viewers want to know more about Special Effect, please visit their website. Nick may correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it should be www.specialeffect.org.uk. You got it. Brilliant. Perfect. The link for this will also be in the description below. Fantastic. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Avakin Chronicles. Now, we always like to begin by saying if you haven't caught up yet, please go back a few chapters and catch up with the story. But if you're all caught up, let's begin. I think I'm going crazy, said Adam. Has Sylvia mentioned anything to you about what's going on? Anything at all? Ash shook his head. I don't think so, Adam. Unless... Wait a minute. You mentioned Daisy, right? If you want to find her, I think I can help you. Adam sighed. No thanks. I don't want to go anywhere near that evil-minded flower fiend. Ash nodded. You might be right about her. But I think I know where she's hiding. I think I can find Sylvia too. We could sneak into her apartment, perhaps see if we find or hear anything that could help you, he suggested. Adam looked up at him. Ash could help him put an end to this mystery once and for all. He decided he could trust him. Where do you think they are? He asked. Daisy owns the London Iceberg House, you know, the huge mansion. I've never been there, but I know she hosts parties there quite frequently, and Sylvia's told me she's been to a few. She always was a bit vague about them, though. Never really liked to talk about them too much, he explained, watching Adam carefully to gauge his reaction. Do you think Sylvia could be working with Daisy? Oh, I don't want to believe it, but that's why we're doing this. Let's go, Ash said, getting up. Adam nodded, putting down the plate with the half-eaten slice of flan. Ash's eyes followed Adam's plate and he frowned. Was my flan too flat for you to enjoy? He asked dejectedly. I can't eat when malevolent talking flowers are on my mind. Sorry, he said, hiding a smirk. Ash rolled his eyes. Let's just go. Where exactly is this place? Asked Adam, looking around as they stepped outside. We'll find it easily. It's sneaking in that's going to be difficult, said Ash. They walked for a while, Adam following Ash as they strolled alongside different Avakin houses. I think I see it, exclaimed Ash excitedly. It's that one up that hill. Oh, I don't have enough energy to climb up the hill. Just carry me, please, Adam complained, dragging his feet. As if, Ash laughed. Move those legs, we're almost there. He turned around to look at Adam. His eyes widened in surprise as he stared at a spot on Adam's leg. What? Asked Adam, looking down. My leg, he screamed. Exactly where his right knee should have been, there was nothing. Were his eyes somehow tricking him, or had his knee really disappeared? He hesitantly brought a hand to his leg. Ew, he cried out as his hand went right through his leg. Cool. You're becoming invisible, exclaimed Ash. This is not cool. I'm freaking out. Hey, invisible doesn't have to mean non-existent, suggested Ash. First, my memories disappear, and now my body. What's next? We need to hurry, Ash. I might not have that much time left. Could Adam solve the mystery in time? What was Daisy hiding? And where was Sylvia? You'll have to find out in the next episode.
Hey you! You ready to rock? Then go to the venue, discover new bands, and come mosh to new music every day and night. The only place to rock!
Hi Avakins, we need to talk about something. It turns out that only 10% of people that watch our videos are subscribed to our channel. Please subscribe so you don't miss any content. It's free. Do the right thing. You know you want to.
Avakin Life.
Welcome to Hot Topic, the segment where we tell you everything that you need to know about this week's most discussed community topics. Today's hot topic is body customization, as well as additions such as earrings and nail customization, piercings, male makeup, and interchangeable clothes for female and male Avakins.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, but we felt like these topics go quite well together. So first off, I personally want to say that if you've been following us for a while, you will have heard some of this by now, but we just want to reiterate a few things with regards to this topic, which seems to come up pretty much every day on our social media. So recently we've seen some comments saying that we don't want any body customization at Avakin. So we want to clear up any confusion that there might be about this topic. We definitely do want to see body customization one day. But when we tell you guys this is not something that you're going to be seeing anytime soon, it doesn't mean it's something you will never see. It just means that it is such a huge change that requires lots of work as it affects the whole structure of how Avakin was originally set up in 2013. So it is not something our developers can just, can do in just a couple of months.
Exactly. Something that we've seen on our social media a lot is related to this topic as well, is male clothes being used for female Avakins and vice versa. This is quite similar to what Sylvia just mentioned, in that it would involve changes to the structure of Avakins, the way that they are built and the way that they move, etc. However, we want to make sure that you guys are aware that even though these changes aren't possible right now, what is important to us is that you can express yourselves in as many ways as possible. That's why every week we release so many different types of clothing, hair, accessories. However, we do know that body customization is something that goes beyond outfits and accessories, and that is very important to you. And we can't wait until the day when we're able to tell you guys something like that will be coming.
Yeah, that will be an amazing day for both us and you guys. I also want to talk about other more specific suggestions with regards to body customization that we see a lot on our social media pages. So when it comes to additions such as earrings, nails and piercings, it might seem like a relatively simple change, one that only affects that specific area of the Avakin only. So for example, you might think that adding earrings only requires creating new earring items and adding them to the ears, but unfortunately it's not as simple as that, because the elements that an Avakin is made of and the ones that can be applied to it are divided into slots. So for example, one is head items, another one is hand items, and these slots were actually created when Avakins were first developed, which took years and years of work, like we mentioned earlier. And at the moment you might notice that you can't select more than one item per slot. So items like earrings, nails, piercings would require the creation of entire new slots, which would require changing the way the Avakins are set up, which really isn't something simple.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Once again, though, changes like these will be possible in the future, but it's just not something we're able to actively work on at the moment.
Yeah, and of course, if you have any questions about this, please let us know in the comments below. And by all means, keep leaving suggestions about new items and features that you'd want, because even though we might not be able to develop these right now, we always want to know what kind of changes you guys would want to see in the future. And also, feel free to head over and leave them on our Reddit, reddit.com/r/Avakin official. From Star Style and around the world, this is Avakin News.
Okay, so welcome to Avakin News. This is going to be a long one. So first up, let's do a January releases highlight, as it's been a while since the last podcast. And since then, we've released quite a few things that you might have missed. And of course, you'll be able to see these on the screen, thanks to the wonderful George. So here we go. Starting from the first release of the year, actually, which was Friday, January the 3rd. So we released a really cool animation set, which I personally adore, which was the Angry animation set. So it was honestly so perfect for the end of the holidays when you're just so angry that all the fun is over. But it's also perfect for the rest of the year, so you're free to express your anger whenever you feel like it. Which is great. So moving on to Tuesday, January the 7th, we had two really cool collections, in case you missed any of these. So the first one was the Front Row Checker collection, which you can see on the screen right now. It includes some really cool hairstyles, as well as some coats and outerwear, and it's just perfect for the winter. We also released a furniture collection, which includes some pretty cool lamps, sofas, rugs, tables, mirrors, and chairs. So if you really love decorating and you haven't seen these new pieces yet, make sure you head over to the Avakin store right now. So moving on to Friday, January the 10th, this release was very mermaid oriented, as we released the mermaid animation set as well as mermaid costumes to go with it, which you can see on the screen right now. If you guys haven't tried the mermaid animation set yet, you are in for a treat, so make sure you give it a try. It's quite fun. One of the featured creators, Annie Souza, has actually made a video which is up on our Instagram page showcasing both the animation set and the costumes, so check it out if you're curious about them. Tuesday, January the 14th, we released 2 pretty cool clothing collections, as we usually do on Tuesdays, which were called Fall Quilted and Seasonless. So the first one is exactly what you'd expect. It's outfit pieces that are quilted. So once again, it's perfect for the winter. So it includes hairstyles and shoes too, so you have everything you need in one collection. The seasonless collection is actually a little bit different, so it includes some really beautiful and quite colourful dresses. But yeah, I'm sure most of you will love them. They're really, really cute. Okay, so on Friday, January 17th, we released a day version of the Alaskan Lodge, which looks amazing. Check it out on the screen right here. You can get it for just 999 Avacoins, which is awesome. Last Tuesday, we released a collection called Bionic Subtle Strengths, which is an awesome fitness collection comprising hair, trainers, and outfits that are perfect for working out. Also, as Chinese New Year is coming up this Saturday, we released a Chinese New Year themed social spot, which is awesome. So make sure you head over there and check it out. On Friday, January the 24th, we released one more icon re-release, as we've been doing throughout January, basically picking the ones you guys love the most throughout 2019 and giving you a chance to buy them again. So this is the 4th one, which included the Icon Blossom dress and the Icon Signature suit. We also released a beautiful Chinese New Year apartment, even though at the time of this recording, I wasn't able to find a picture, but you will be able to see it on our social media pages once this video is up.
So follow us at Avakin Official.
Yeah.
There were some pretty cool releases in January, but now let's take some time to talk about the amazing events we've got currently running. Running until the 31st of January is the Magical Moonlight Cruise. To participate, all you have to do is wear selected icon outfits, and then you'll be able to step aboard a gorgeously decorated ship for an unforgettable evening with your friends. Starting today and ending on the 31st is our Chinese New Year bot event. You'll be able to meet unique characters on the journey, to collect and hand out red envelopes, and you'll also receive amazing gifts if you figure out the answer to all the clues. I believe that's a little bit like, if you remember the Cafe Rain event that we had, it's along those lines. So we know that one was quite popular, so we hope that you enjoy it. There are lots of other events coming up as well in February, so stay tuned for those.
Yes, and just a little reminder that we have a brand new Instagram contest up on our Instagram page, which ran live on Friday, which is also related to Chinese New Year's. So make sure you take part in the bot event and celebrate with your friends for a chance to win 25,000 Avacoins.
We would also like to talk to you guys about an initiative we would really love for you to support along with us. As most of you are aware, Australia really needs our help due to the horrendous bushfires they've been experiencing recently. We have developed a koala pet kit, which we're selling as a coin purchase in the store for $1. All profits are going to go to our chosen charity, which is Wires, whose aim is to help rescue and care for innocent victims of the fires and drought. If you'd like more information, the link for the charity can be found in the description below. Also, you can access that through our social media. Thank you so much if you've already bought the offer. If you're planning to do so, we really appreciate your help and support. I'm just going to add another little bit here. We've also been having a bit of an office raffle here to raise funds internally, and the wonderful Jessie's just let me know that we made over $450 for that.
Wow, that is amazing. Cool. So some of you might already know about this if you follow us on Reddit, but we would also like to let you guys know that we are discontinuing support for Facebook Game Room at the end of this month. This is because we only have 3,400 unique Game Room users, which is users who only play on Game Room. I'm just going to give you guys some other numbers for comparison, so you can see how small this number actually is. So on any given day, we'd have about 1.1 million active users on Android devices versus, for example, about 200k on Apple devices. So you can see there's a massive difference there. And as you might understand, this amount of users doesn't justify the costs of keeping up the platform. So if you are a Game Room user and this affects you, it might be worth switching to a mobile device, but please bear in mind that you won't lose any of your previous purchases or anything like that. You're just going to have to log into your device via Facebook. And as always, if you have any more questions, please head over to our Reddit forum, and there's already a post up there about this topic, and the wonderful Ash will be able to answer any of your queries.
That's reddit.com/r/Avakin official. Thanks to all our wonderful viewers and listeners for joining us today and hanging out with us until the very end. We hope you enjoyed the content we had planned out for you today.
Yeah, and remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, VK, TikTok, Twitter, Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. As on each of these platforms, you'll find exclusive content.
And don't forget to subscribe so you get notified when we post a new video or any other updates for that matter. We have lots of amazing new content coming in 2020, so make sure you don't miss out. We'll be back with you in the next few weeks with the first live stream of the year. So we'll see you then. Bye for now.